Hello everyone, welcome to my channel SW Metro official channel. In a packed Arizona courtroom where the air was heavy with anticipation and whispers echoed against the wooden walls like faint thunder, the long brewing storm within the sister wives family finally broke into a legal spectacle that no one could have foreseen, with Meri Brown, the woman who had once been Kody's first wife and the foundation of his plural marriage dream, stepping into the witness box with a calm but fiery determination that sent chills down the spines of every spectator, reporter, and family member in attendance, and as she raised her right hand and swore to tell the truth, the weight of decades of silence, humiliation, betrayal, and unspoken truths pressed against her chest until she decided she would no longer carry Kody's secrets for him, no longer allow herself to be painted as the cast-off, pitiful wife who clung to a man who had discarded her long ago. Because this was her moment to rewrite the story, her moment to finally pull back the curtain on the man America thought it knew and reveal the truth she had lived with for years, and as she cleared her throat and looked directly at the judge with steady eyes, Kody shifted uncomfortably in his seat at the defense table, his once golden curls now streaked with gray and his bravado cracking like brittle glass under the pressure of knowing that Meri held the keys to truths he had buried so deep he believed no one would ever dare to dig them up again. Yet here she was, prepared to detonate the truth. Like dynamite in a crowded mine, and the courtroom held its collective breath as Meri began, her voice low at first, recounting the early days when Kody had promised her a life of spiritual unity, of loyalty, of shared love, painting himself as the noble patriarch destined to guide multiple wives into heaven's embrace, only for those promises to curdle into manipulation, control, and financial exploitation. And she spoke of contracts signed in secret, bank accounts siphoned, land deals that were never disclosed to the wives, and most shockingly, whispered about a hidden trust fund that Kody had been building in his own name while encouraging his wives to pour every dime of their earnings into the communal pot of Coyote Pass, a pot that was never communal at all but a cleverly disguised personal fortune he intended to keep for himself and Robin, and the gasps that rippled through the courtroom were louder than thunder as Janelle covered her mouth. Christine leaned forward with wide eyes, and even Robin, seated stiffly with her arms crossed, blinked rapidly as though she hadn't been expecting Meri to go that far, and Meri pressed on, her words now gaining strength like a rising tide, describing nights of loneliness where she begged for Kody's attention only to discover he was out making financial moves with Robin, how she had been excluded from major family decisions, how she had been lied to about the debts attached to Coyote Pass, how she had unknowingly signed documents that tied her to tax liabilities while Kody quietly absolved himself, and finally, in a stunning crescendo that seemed to silence even the hum of the fluorescent lights above, Meri declared that Kody had manipulated the very faith he claimed to live by, using religion as a shield to control women, silence dissent, and maintain a self-image of spiritual authority while in reality he was running what she described as a personal empire built on lies, deception, and exploitation of family and faith, and as her words echoed through the courtroom, the judge leaned forward, attorneys scribbled furiously, and Kody slammed his fist on the table in protest, shouting that she was bitter, angry, a liar who wanted revenge for his lack of affection, but the outburst only made him look smaller, weaker, a man cornered by truths too heavy to deflect with his usual charm or blame shifting, and when order was restored, Meri continued, her voice unwavering now, describing in detail the night she discovered Kody's secret ledger, a small notebook hidden in the bottom of a locked cabinet in Flagstaff that detailed every dollar of family income, every profit from the show, every side deal Kody had struck without informing the wives, including a particularly damning note about how much he intended to leave for Robin and her children compared to what he intended to leave for the rest of his family, a revelation that landed like a bombshell in the courtroom, making even the seasoned court reporter pause for a beat before resuming her transcription, and as Kody sat red-faced, sputtering with rage, Meri concluded her testimony with a chilling line, "This man has spent years convincing America he is a devoted husband and father, but the truth is he is a manipulator who used us all to build his name, his wealth, and his control, while leaving us in the shadows, and today, I refuse to stay in those shadows any longer," and the applause that broke out from the gallery was quickly hushed by the judge's gavel, but not before Kody's face twisted with fury at the betrayal, not before Robin's carefully constructed mask of loyalty began to crack, not before Janelle whispered something to Christine that looked suspiciously like "I told you," And not before the world realized that Sister Wives was no longer just a reality show, it was a real courtroom drama, a public reckoning where the truth could no longer be buried, where Meri, once silenced and sidelined, had become the unlikely heroine exposing Kody's secret truth in a trial that promised to change not only the trajectory of the Brown family but the legacy of the show, the faith, and the man at its center. And as the cameras outside the courthouse swiveled to capture every angle, the reporters clamored to update their feeds, and the audience watching around the world leaned in. It was clear that this was not just a courtroom shock. It was the moment the empire of Kody Brown finally began to crumble, stone by stone, secret by secret, and truth by truth. Meri Brown hints at hard conversation in season 20, she won't be walked over. Meri Brown, star of Sister Wives, is now talking about her life. She had kept her side of the tale to herself, but now she is finally telling. The reality TV personality admitted that none of her previous sister wives are good friends. But right now, she is quite content with her life. She has established clear limits around herself and accepted the circumstances. Meri said that she doesn't let people walk all over her anymore. She is open to improving her friendship with the other women and is in the process of healing. On the other hand, she is aware of her life goals. She is now willing to resolve her differences with Robyn and consider becoming friends with Janelle and Christine. The fact that Meri is suddenly amenable to a relationship with Robyn is interesting. Meri discusses her present relationship with her former sister wives. Fans might be surprised by Meri Brown's latest disclosure of her relationship status with her former sister wives. She stated that she no longer communicates with Christine Brown because their beliefs don't align and she doesn't feel emotionally secure doing so on the I Do, Part 2 podcast. Meri explained that while distance feels better, there is no hate. She said that she doesn't have a close relationship with Robyn or Janelle at the moment. Meri emphasized that her limits are crucial, even if she is still amenable to difficult discussions and healing. She now prioritizes herself in order to choose serenity. Meri Brown, a sister wife, won't be walked over. Meri Brown recently shared her thoughts on the I Do, Part 2 Spotify podcast, which was hosted by Amy Robach and TJ Holmes. The Sister Wives star disclosed that she no longer has a close relationship with her previous spouses. She still has hope for a reconciliation, though. I am always open to healing relationships, Meri continued. She also admits that it will be difficult to have these talks, particularly with their family. Meri clarified that going forward calls for greater integrity and clearer limits than previously. There will need to be difficult conversations, she underlined. She used to have no boundaries, but now she does. She will no longer tolerate being trampled underfoot. Her voice has always been strong, but she now knows how to utilize it effectively. Her statements demonstrated her commitment to maintaining her peace while allowing for deep discussions. Meri said that she doesn't harbor any regrets when questioned about them. I don't regret any of it, those experiences have shaped who I am today, she continued. She acknowledged that people frequently ask her if she wishes things had turned out differently, but she prefers to focus on how far she's come rather than looking back. Meri admits that she really enjoys who she has become today. Meri also accepted the notion that development requires change. When presented with options, she urged the audience to take action. Just make one, it doesn't matter, she suggested. Until you do it, you won't realize it's the incorrect one. Perhaps neither of them is incorrect, they're just going to lead you down different paths, she added. Is Meri composing her own autobiography to present her views? Motivated by Christine? Sister Wife, a memoir of faith, family, and finding freedom is a new book written by Christine. She revealed several aspects of her personal life in it. She talked about her early years, her relationship with her own father, and a lot more. Most significantly, Christine's book exposed the real identities of Robyn, Kody Brown's fourth wife, and Kody Brown. In addition, she included a number of sections in which she discussed her relationships with her other sister wives. After Christine's book was published a few weeks ago, there are now rumors that Meri, her former sister wife, may follow suit with a book of her own. Many fans are perplexed as well as thrilled to learn Meri's side of the story. The primary cause is Meri's criticism of Christine for presenting her side of the story a few days ago. She went on to say that she respects her intentions and would never give away every detail of her life. Meri explains her reasons for not reading Christine's book. In her memoir, Meri Brown recently discussed why she doesn't agree with Christine's viewpoint. Although she acknowledged that she hasn't read the book and has no plans to do so, she stated that she respects Christine's freedom to speak her truth. Meri clarified that although their lives overlapped, they were not the same. Thus, her experiences are not the same as those of Christine. Anything that could disturb her or contradict her own experiences is not something she wants to read. Meri stressed that perspective determines truth and that she wants to preserve her tranquilly while honoring Christine's path. Sister Wives, is Meri writing her memoir after Christine? Christine's book, Sister Wife, a memoir of faith, family, and finding freedom, was a huge hit with readers. They now want to talk about the Brown family in more detail.